Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So some more additional information to give you an update on is in regards to Wan-Bissaka, as I have been updating you on a regular basis. So Manchester United and Crystal Palace have held more extensive talks over coming to an agreement on a fee for Wan-Bissaka. Now according to Daily Mail, Manchester United are close to agreeing around a £42.5 million fee with Crystal Palace for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, I do expect that add-ons will obviously follow up, because obviously Crystal Palace value Wan-Bissaka at around £60 million. So I do believe there will be a series of add-ons included. So I presume that the deal probably will rise to around maybe 55 or 60 million pounds. But obviously Manchester United have been in more extensive talks with Crystal Palace since last weekend and all that. I do believe that Wan-Bissaka has agreed personal terms on around the £80,000 a week contract and all that. And obviously it got reported, was it about 2 or 3 days ago? This was actually stemming from Duncan Castles, and he basically said that Manchester United had agreed a world record fee with Crystal Palace for Wan-Bissaka, and the fee believed to be around £55 million and all that. But I do believe that Crystal Palace do want around 45 or 50 million pounds up front, because obviously we previously had two bids turned down from Wan-Bissaka. Obviously the last bid was 35 million up front, with 15 million in add-ons. But obviously Crystal Palace had turned this down because obviously they didn't like the structure of the offer. And obviously the first bid we had turned down was 40 million pounds. But basically Wan-Bissaka has informed Crystal Palace that he does want to join Manchester United this summer. Obviously he has been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, and obviously he has been on our agenda for quite some time now and all that. But I do believe it would be the right solution for Manchester United, and it is looking very imminent. He is going to be our second signing this summer, and we do get the deal over the line. I think it's going to take our next spend probably to around 70 odd million pounds, because obviously we've already got Daniel James on the board that cost us 15 million. Obviously there was add-ons including the deal, which did potentially rise it to around 17 or 18 million pounds. So yeah, and I do expect Wan-Bissaka's transfer to Manchester United completed. I do expect it to be fully finalised within the next 48 hours, as reports did confirm was it yesterday, and we're hopeful that this transfer can be fully completed by the end of this weekend. But Wan-Bissaka is a really good player. He's only 21 years of age, so obviously he will fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talent and all that. And I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them well established players and all that. But yeah, obviously he's also British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer, because obviously there's a number of British players on Manchester United's agenda. But like I said, he's only 21. He's predominantly a right back and all that. Like I said, he's still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. Obviously so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. I think he's been a Crystal Palace player since like the age of 11. Graduated from their youth system. Initially when he was a lot younger, he actually was an out-and-out winner, but as he was developing, obviously he got rotated as a right back. Obviously made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, and obviously has become an integral part of Crystal Palace's squad, and obviously last season established himself as a first team regular and all that. And obviously reflecting on his impressive performances last season for Crystal Palace, I think he did win Crystal Palace's player of the year and all that. So I think we are close to agreeing around the £42.5 million fee with Crystal Palace, but I do believe there's going to be series of add-ons included in the deal, which probably will potentially rise up to around maybe 55 or 60 million pounds and all that. So I'm really looking forward to this, because I think Wan-Bissaka's defensive capabilities are very good, and obviously we do need to address that right hand side. And I think Wan-Bissaka will be a good replacement for Antonio Valencia, because obviously we know Antonio Valencia has left the club after he served 10 years at Manchester United. I think he'll be a good upgrade to Ashley Young, because obviously Ashley Young is one of the problematic players at Manchester United. Obviously he's no longer got the abilities to fulfill that right back position and all that. And again, he's been on term here. He's been here 8 years. He's 33 now. Young is nearly 34 years of age, so he has basically passed his sell-by date. We know last season he was our first choice right back and all that. But I think Wan-Bissaka would be a good upgrade to him, and I think also he will be a good cover up for Diego Dalot, because obviously Diego Dalot obviously is too inexperienced at the moment, and he's the upcoming future for Manchester United. We only got Diego Dalot last summer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Wan-Bissaka coming in. But when we do get the deal finalised for Wan-Bissaka, it's not guaranteed he'll come to Manchester United, but I think it's looking very likely now, reflecting on recent reports and all that. So when we do get the deal fully fully finalised for him. I think we need to intend on selling quite a few players, before we do currently buy him again, because recent reports have obviously, been coming out this week saying that Manchester United have only been giving him £100 million to spend and all that. And obviously when we get Wan-Bissaka, that's good. Like I said, it's going to take our net spend to around 70 odd million. So then we'll probably only have 20 odd million pounds to spend on a central defender, midfield, a couple of additions in midfield, a right winger and all that, a striker. And obviously we're not going to be able to do that, over 20 odd million pounds. So I think we do need to intend on selling, before we do currently buy again, when we have completed the transfer of Wan-Bissaka and all that. But I thought it was initially 200 odd million pounds, that we had to spend. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club and all that. And obviously, he wants to fulfil them areas, of course, where Manchester United are lacking, like I currently said. And I think when we get Wan-Bissaka, I think our priority then, will be to get a midfielder in. And hopefully, of course, it will be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Give you some news about Bruno Fernandes. It's coming out from the Metro. Bruno Fernandes is reportedly attracted to Manchester United's history and mystique and all that, as he was saying, Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, it's come out this week that Manchester United have reportedly held negotiations with his agent and all that, and now reportedly we are preparing an opening offer for him of around £49 million. I think Sporting Lisbon do want around £62 million for Bruno Fernandes, but looking at it ultimately, I think he probably will be our third signing this summer. But now, based on Tottenham, now that Tottenham have stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes, maybe we'll have to make a final decision on Bruno Fernandes and all that. But obviously, reports have been coming out early on this week saying that obviously Tottenham have set their interest up. Tottenham have been in negotiations, with Bruno Fernandes' agent. I think it was on Wednesday that Bruno Fernandes' agent, actually, was in London having negotiations with Tottenham. Obviously, over the possibility of a transfer to Tottenham and all that, because Tottenham have currently been in there for Bruno Fernandes. But quite a few teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, reports came out early on in the week that Liverpool had put a bid in for him of around €45 million. Obviously, that equates to around 40 million in pounds sterling. So I think Liverpool are the only team at the moment that have put any formal bid in for Bruno Fernandes. But the Portuguese press reported now saying that we've had talks with his agent and all that. We are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £49 million. But I'd still say, we are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him. But like I said, we have not stepped our interest up yet in Bruno Fernandes, because we want to get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka. Then obviously we'll step our interest up in Bruno Fernandes. But obviously he has been on Tottenham's agenda, because obviously Tottenham have got quite a few midfields on their agenda. Tottenham are in for Tanguy and Ndombele and all that. That's one of Tottenham's main priority targets. Obviously they have been in for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. Also, Manchester United have been in for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. Obviously, he's been one of Tottenham's main priority targets. Obviously, Tottenham had a £53 million bid turned down for him last month and all that, because I think Real Betis are demanding that the one around in the region of around 70 or 80 million pounds. Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around 88 million pounds and all that. Obviously, last season was his first season with Real Betis. Obviously, he spent the majority of He spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis made the deal permanent back in April by paying around 19 or 20 million pounds. Real Betis did get him from PSG last summer. So if Real Betis do sell Giovanni Lo Celso, PSG do benefit from it, because obviously PSG do get a percentage, of course, of any sale. So yeah, Tottenham have currently been in there for him. I think he confirmed from his own preference quite a few weeks back, that he's keen on making the move to Tottenham. But he's primarily, I think, a central midfielder. He's only 23 years of age, but it does say also that Manchester United have obviously been in for him. But obviously Tottenham are seeing Bruno Fernandes as a replacement for Christian Eriksen, because obviously Christian Eriksen has been linked with a move to Real Madrid and all that. And obviously if Christian Eriksen goes, Tottenham of course are going to want a replacement for him. And obviously Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer anyway, because like I said, they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously the last player they signed obviously was Lucas Moura back in January 2018 and all that. I think their record sign is Davinson Sanchez, who they got from Ajax a couple of years ago, and I think Tottenham paid around £42 million. And obviously I think it did say prior to the Champions League final, I think Pochettino, threatened to resign as Tottenham manager, if he isn't back in this summer transfer window and all that. He has threatened to resign as Tottenham manager, but he has been at Tottenham 5 years. Obviously he's done really, really well with Tottenham, even though he hasn't won out in terms of silverware yet. He got them, to their first ever Champions League final. But if Tottenham, want to be up there, winning trophies and all that, I do believe, they need to get maybe a couple of players in this summer. So obviously this is why, Mauricio Pochettino wants back. And obviously Tottenham can probably attract players to the elite level anyway, anyway, because obviously, they've got Champions League football and that secured for next season. So yeah, so they are in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, like I said, it come out the other week saying that Liverpool are in for him. But we do know mainly it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for Bruno Fernandes' services. But obviously, it confirmed the other week that City have pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. City have withdrawn their interest. So I will say, we're still the favourites, to get a deal over the line for him. Reports came out, was it last week or was it a couple of weeks ago, saying that we was preparing, to pay up to £70 million for his services. But he is only 24 years of age. He is primarily an attacking midfielder, and I do think he would be a good adequate replacement to Paul Pogba and all that. He hasn't really played to the highest level yet, Bruno Fernandes, don't get me wrong, but he's had a good couple of seasons, with Sporting Lisbon. I think he scored 31 goals last season in 50 games in all competitions. So, like I said, that midfield area is very pivotal for Manchester United. Of course, we need to add depth in that midfield. We need someone who can, score goals in that midfield, and I think Bruno Fernandes definitely would be the right solution. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows he'd be the right, player, to rejuvenate the team and all that. So I think it would be fantastic for us. Even though it came out quite a few weeks back saying that, Ed Woodward was very hesitant over our transfer move for him because maybe he's got reservations about us, spending big on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark and all that. But definitely, Bruno Fernandes will. But it's very imperative that we get a deal over the line for him because he's obviously, been one of our main priority targets, for quite some time now and all that. He is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023 still, and his initial release clause is around £86 million. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger. Obviously, with the likes of Sampdoria and Londonese and all that. So hopefully, we can still get a deal over the line for him. But like I said, Tottenham have obviously, expressed their interest. Have been in negotiation with his agent over the possible, transfer to Tottenham this summer and all that. I think it reported out 4 or 5 days ago that actually, Tottenham had pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. But we want to get the deal over the line first for Wan-Bissaka. Then we're going to we're going to step our interest up in Bruno Fernandes and hopefully, get a deal secured for him and all that. So, like I said, he's only 24 years of age anyway, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, and I do believe he's got all the attributes to definitely succeed in the Premier League, and I do believe, he definitely would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt. So I do think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda, perfectly. So I do expect our next two signings to be Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes for Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, as I give you the breaking news earlier on in regards to David De Gea, this is very, very positive news. Manchester United have been back in talks with David De Gea over a £350,000 a week deal. So I think now he's set to stay at Manchester United. But we have been in negotiations, at least for the last 18 or 19 months, to try and get David De Gea a new contract at the club. Obviously, I think we'd allegedly offered him allegedly we had £300,000 a week on the table for him and all that. But obviously, this is obviously £50,000 less, than what he's initially demanding, because obviously, David De Gea wants 350 grand a week from the club if he's to remain loyal to the club, and of course, if he's to sign a new contract. And obviously, for a long time, we haven't been willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. But I have been reading reports today from the media. They've been basically saying now that there's been a change of scenery. Now Manchester United are reportedly willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. We are willing to offer him a 4-year deal with an option of a further year. So I'm very, very I'm very ecstatic about this, to be quite honest, because I think David De Gea has been a great servant to the club. He has been here 8 years and all that. And I think David De Gea was talking a while back about our ambitions of he was talking. Well, do you think? Let's be honest. Do you think there's a point in David De Gea staying? If we continue being inconsistent and all that? Because obviously a goalkeeper of David De Gea's calibre, obviously wants to be in Champions League football. Wants to be competing. Wants to be winning silverware and all that. And obviously he hasn't really experienced this at Manchester United in the last 6 years. We do know he has been here 8 years and all that. But David De Gea may be frustrated with the lack of competitiveness at Manchester United at the moment. But anyway, we are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, and I'm very, very excited about this. Some people are saying maybe we should wait until August to give him this new contract term and all that. Maybe some people are saying we should give him it now. now, or maybe we should, wait till August. That may be the best option and all that, see who we can bring in first and all that, and then obviously, give David De Gea the new contract in August. David De Gea has only got a year left on his current deal. Obviously, he has been heavily linked to a £60 million move to PSG, but obviously, recent reports came out saying obviously now PSG have opted out of the race. They're focusing more on Donnarumma from AC Milan. But I think PSG at one point were prepared to pay £60 million to him, because it was obviously looking likely he wasn't going to sign the new contract with Manchester United. And like I said, obviously if we couldn't have come to agreement to get him a new contract, like I said, we needed to sell him this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer next year. And like I said, at full value for the goalkeeper, he's worth £100 million, is De Gea, because he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's only got a year left in his contract. So I said, we wouldn't have got £100 million in. But like I said, he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He has won everything domestically and all that. He hasn't done really much wrong in his 8-year period at Manchester United. I know he was making quite a few mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly to do with the contractual situation. So we're giving him a 4-year deal with an option to extend it, so potentially it is a new 5-year deal and all that. So yeah, very, very good news. This obviously PSG had stepped their interest up in him, because obviously Buffon has actually left PSG, and obviously PSG are going to want a replacement for Buffon. We do know that Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea, and reflecting back in 2015, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him, but due to a fax machine, of course, the deal never materialised. So looking likely, we are going to be giving David De Gea a new contract. I'm very, very excited about this. So he's going to get a pay rise around the £150,000, because obviously in his current deal at the moment, I think he's on about £200,000 a week. Is the current Spaniard. Obviously, as he updated you earlier on as well, in regards to Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax, because we do know he's been a potential Manchester United target, and we do know so many teams have inquired about Matthijs de Ligt's services. But I have been reading up reports today, and it does reportedly say now that Matthijs de Ligt has finally made a decision on his future, and obviously we do know it's imminent that he's going to be leaving Ajax, but obviously we hadn't known for a long time, where he will be, of course, applying his trade next season. But like I said, I've been reading reports up today, and I think it now does say he's set to join Juventus, is Matthijs de Ligt. But actually, it was reported out the other week and all that, saying it was actually, the two teams that were considered to be the favourites to get his signature was actually, Barcelona and PSG, because I think it came out, just under 2 weeks ago, saying that PSG had reportedly offered Matthijs de Ligt a 5-year contract, worth up to around £340,000 a week, and it also said Matthijs de Ligt's agent had met up, with PSG sporting director, obviously over, coming to just go charge my phone up. Wait a minute, just go charge my phone up. If there's a charger in here, wait there, I'll go upstairs. But yeah, as I was saying, so PSG did offer him a 5-year contract, worth up to around £340,000 a week, and yeah, de Ligt, PSG director had spoken with his agent Raiola, obviously, to get a deal finalised and all that. So it was looking likely, PSG were still going to get him. I still think they are considered as one of the favourites, but Barcelona have actually, been considered the favourites to get Matthijs de Ligt at least in the last couple of months. But obviously, I think the main factor reason why Barcelona are set to miss out on him, because obviously, Barcelona were not willing to meet his current, they were not willing to meet what de Ligt was demanding. They was also not willing to meet what his agent Raiola, of course, was demanding and all that. Even though some reports did speculate out, charger. Some reports, did speculate out, saying that, his transfer to Barcelona was a done deal and all that. But obviously, they couldn't come to there's charges doing me head in, so I'll just take it off charge for now. But yeah, they couldn't basically, come to an agreement on the terms and all that, and I think this is why, Barcelona are not currently going to get him. Obviously, Barcelona have already got, his current teammate Frankie de Jong, who, of course, they're paid £65 million for him and all that. But yeah, Liverpool then inquired about his services. Like I said, the main factor reason why Liverpool had been in for him, because obviously, Liverpool, have got Virgil van Dijk, and obviously, Virgil van Dijk and Matthijs de Ligt, know each other really well, because they are both Dutch and all that. So Liverpool obviously were intending on putting de Ligt alongside, Virgil van Dijk in their back line. Obviously, Bayern Munich had been in there, but I think Bayern Munich have pulled out of the race now for him. Obviously, Manchester City, of course, had been in there. But he did initially say, we were willing to offer him we had offered him a £350,000 a week contract. Obviously, that equates to around £17 million a year. And obviously, like I said, if that would have processed, obviously that would make him the most, well, it could still possibly happen. He could still come to Manchester United, but I don't see see it happening now, to be quite honest with you. But that would have made him the highest paid teenager in world football. Also would have made him, one of the highest paid players at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez and all that. But I've been reading media reports saying now that Juventus are reportedly, willing to offer him around Juventus are willing to offer him around around 70 million euros, which does equate to around 62 million in pounds sterling. I think they've also offered him a 5-year contract with around 20 million pounds a season, something like that, which means this will make him the second highest paid player behind Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus and all that. But I said in terms of transfer fees, he's going to probably cost you around 60 odd or 70 odd million pounds. But he was on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time, obviously, because obviously we do need to address our defensive deficiencies. And obviously, Matty Stillett is a centre back. He is only 19 years of age and all that. But we've got issues defensively, and we've got to address our defensive deficiencies, because last season we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League. Obviously, that's our highest total in 40 years. So we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games. And like I said, it was disappointing last season. We did finish 6th, so it's very essential, that we do get our number 1 targets this summer. It's very, very essential that we do. Because obviously, want to see vast improvements going on into this season and all that. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did confirm that he wants our transfer business done by the start of next month, obviously, before, the players, return to pre-season and all that. He wants our transfer business completed. Obviously, I think there's about 48 days left until the transfer window, currently shuts. But we need to see vast improvements, of course, going on into next season. Like I said, we've got to get the right recruitment this summer, because analysing our recruitment policy, it is quite poor. But I think it's going to be hard for us to attract players to elite level, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season, and Champions League football is always very pivotal, when you do want to get your number 1 targets. It's also going to be hard for us, to convince players to stay at the club as well. But with Delay, he wants to obviously, go to a club that can offer him, Champions League football and all that, and obviously, Juventus can offer him, Champions League football. Obviously, Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. I think he also said, he wanted to go to a club, that could assure him first team football week in, week out and all that, and definitely, Manchester United, would have been able to do that and all that. And I think Matty Stillett, would have helped us, with our own rebuilding project. And I do presume he would have complemented Victor Lindelof in our backline, really, really well. But I think it's looking likely he's going to be going to Juventus. But some people say how Juventus going to afford him, because I think it'll be a great signing for Juventus. Don't get me wrong, but Juventus have obviously got Paul Pogba on their agenda. I think they've got Tanguy and Ndombele on their agenda. And obviously maybe now if they do get Matty Stillett, I think they will drop their interest in Paul Pogba, because I don't think they'll be able to afford Paul Pogba, of course, having to do get Matty Stillett and all that. But yeah, Matty Stillett, has done really, really well with Ajax. So far he has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he's the only defender as well, to win the Golden Boy Award. He won the Golden Boy Award last year, I think. But enjoyed a great season with Ajax last season, of course, captaining them to the domestic double for the first time in 17 years. Obviously, as well, winning the winning the Eredivisie title, also, progressing to a Champions League semi-final. So Matty Stillett, can leave Ajax with his head held up high, and he's been, like I said, he's been an Ajax player since the age of 8, the age of 9. But obviously, Matty Stillett, wants to rejuvenate his career, take his football career to the next level and all that. So it's looking likely now, according to recent reports, he will be playing his trade in Italy, next season. So I don't think he's going to be coming to Manchester United. But I initially said I think we need 2 central defenders, because I don't think Smalling's good enough. I don't think Phil Jones is good enough for Manchester United. I think they are too inconsistent now. They've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years. Obviously, Jones has been here 8 years, and it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts and all that. And I think with Eric Bailly, I think we need to get rid of Eric Bailly, even though I think he's got great potential, and when he's fully fit, he holds his line really well. He shows that ability to play out from the back. But I think Eric Bailly's Manchester United career has been badly affected. The amount of injuries he has sustained, obviously with his fallout under managers and all that. So I do believe we need to actually get rid of Eric Bailly. I think it's looking very likely that Rojo and Damian are going to be leaving the club. Like I said, that will help us with our rebuilding process and our transition and all that. Obviously, I think we can probably raise around 25 or 30 million pounds, for the departures of Matty or Damian and Rojo, because both of them have endured difficult times at Manchester United and all that. Obviously, I updated you the other day, didn't I, of in regards to Harry Maguire from Leicester. Now, I think Manchester City are reportedly in pole position to sign Harry Maguire now. We do know it's been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services and all that. But I think according to recent reports, it does say Manchester City, are in pole position to sign him. And reportedly Manchester City have scheduled medical for Harry Maguire. So reportedly Harry Maguire is set for the Manchester City medical and all that. But basically, it said, I think it was earlier on this week, if I'm right, it did say, we was confident, that we could beat Manchester City to the signing of Harry Maguire. We was also very confident that we could outbid Manchester City to his services. I think the main factor reason why I was confident, reflecting on City's reluctance, to pay up to £80 million for his services. And City are not willing to pay up to £80 million for his services. I think it did say Harry Maguire is set to sign for Manchester City for around £65 million. But looking at it, ultimately, Leicester don't even want to sell Harry Maguire. This is why, they're demanding an extortionate amount. This is why they're demanding. This is why they have priced him out of the transfer market and all that, because basically, they don't want to sell Harry Maguire. But from Harry Maguire's preference, he actually wants to make the move to Manchester City, because obviously City are the dominant force at the moment in England. Obviously, they won a domestic treble last season and all that. So obviously, Harry Maguire wants to rejuvenate his career, take his footballing career to the next level. City and that can offer him Champions League football, and probably Harry Maguire believes he will flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that. So it's looking likely Harry Maguire is going to be Manchester City's first major signing this summer. But I heard reports saying, we was actually willing to pay £80 million. So basically, we are willing to offer more than Manchester City for his services, because I think it did say Ed Woodward was keen on recommending, Harry Maguire in. He said he was willing to pay up to £80 million for him. We was even willing to offer him a contract, worth up to around £350,000 a week and all that. But I don't think he's got any intentions of coming to Manchester United. He's proven in the Premier League. He is 26 years of age, plus he's British and all that, and he has been at Leicester a couple of seasons, and I think since his arrival at Leicester he's played about 76 games in all competitions, and I think he's played about 69 games in the Premier League for Leicester. I think in total in the Premier League he's made about 101 appearances. He signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023 is Harry Maguire, and Leicester I think paid around £17 million for his services from Hull City a couple of years ago and all that. But he even said earlier on this week, that we was even willing to offer at least one or two of our players to Leicester as part of the deal for Harry Maguire. So obviously, that could convince Leicester, to lower their price tag. So one of the players it did say was willing to offer was Andres Pereira and all that. Obviously, Andres Pereira is one of our fringe players. Did play quite a few times, last season and all that. Obviously, reflecting on the amount of injuries, we had sustained, especially in that midfield. So he did get the opportunity, last season. Did Andres Pereira, especially towards the back end and all that. And obviously, you had loan spells with Valencia and Granada in Spain, and he's only 23 years of age. He graduated from Manchester United youth system, but he did say we was willing to offer Andres Pereira, as part of the deal for Harry Maguire. It also said we were considering offering, Eric Bailly or Marcus Rojo to Leicester as part of the deal for Harry Maguire and all that. And I think Rojo's being part of the deal with Harry Maguire, would be very, very beneficial and all that, because it's looking very imminent anywhere that Marcus Rojo's going to be leaving Manchester United. And with Bailly, I wouldn't be too sure about Bailly. I think from a Leicester perspective, that would be good for Leicester if they got Eric Bailly as part of the deal, because obviously, Eric Bailly is good when he's fully fit, but obviously, like I said, he's now injury prone and all that. But anyway, it's not going to happen. I think he is going to be making the move to Manchester City. Like I said, City obviously seen him as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. He left Manchester City. Obviously, he served 11 years with Manchester City and all that. Obviously, now he's player manager at Anderlecht, so City want a replacement for him. I think City could consider moving Otamendi on now, so obviously, Harry Maguire can be assured first team football week in, week out of Manchester City, or he does get a regular game time. So obviously, this is what Harry Maguire's going to want and all that. But I think, if he came to Manchester United, he would blend in alongside Victor Lindelof very, very well. But it's looking likely, like I said, he's going to be going to Manchester City. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well, in regards to Issa Diop from West Ham and all that. Obviously, it did say he's one of our priority targets now. Is Issa Diop. A lot of reports came out about earlier on this week. I think it also said that last week Manchester United were interested in Issa Diop. He's a central defender. He's 6'4", so I do presume he's very, very good in the air. I think he's a really, really good athlete, and like I said, he's only 22 years of age. And it did say that Issa Diop, was actually, keen on a move to Manchester United. I think West Ham are reluctant, to sell him, but it did say West Ham, do want at least around £60 million if they are willing to offload the player. But I don't think, Manchester United, would be willing to pay this. I do presume Issa Diop would be a cheaper solution than Koulibaly from Napoli, Harry Maguire from Leicester and all that. It would be a cheaper solution, would Issa Diop. But I don't think, West Ham are, willing to currently sell him and all that. It did confirm that we'd, I think it was early on this week, it said, we'd offered £40 million for, to West Ham for Issa Diop. Plus, we offered Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issa Diop. But reportedly, West Ham had instantly, turned this down and all that. The player had remained anonymous, for quite a bit. And obviously, it got revealed it was Phil Jones, we offered as well as that £40 million and all that. But West Ham had instantly, turned this down. And I was reading reports early on this week saying that if West Ham are willing to offload Issa Diop, they want Anthony Martial in exchange for him and all that. Obviously, Manchester United are not going to be willing to go along with that. But Issa Diop, of course, has had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, it was his debut season in the Premier League last season with West Ham. I think he played about 33 games of the Premier League. I think he played about, 37 or 38 in all competitions. Obviously, West Ham got him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. And I think initially last summer he signed a 5-year contract with West Ham. So I think he's got now 4 years left on it. So he's under contract with them until 2023. So it does say Manchester United, of course, have been in for him. Koulibaly from Napoli, I don't see him now coming in, to be quite honest with you. I haven't actually read up about much about Koulibaly lately. But obviously looking at ultimately, I don't think Napoli want to sell him. I think I read reports earlier on this week saying that City had lodged a bidding of around £85 million, was it, for his services. Some Manchester United fans do believe Koulibaly to Manchester United is on. But I don't see it happening, to be quite honest. I think he'll end up probably staying at Napoli. Obviously, it confirmed that we had a £90 million bid turned down for him, about, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago. Real Madrid also had a £90 million bid turned down for him. Obviously, Koulibaly's been relentlessly linked over move to Manchester United since last summer and all that, because the rumours have continued to persist since then. But the actual process started under Jose Mourinho, because obviously, Koulibaly obviously, was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted, but obviously we didn't get his number one target last summer. We didn't get his number one targets last summer because obviously the board weren't backing the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come. Let me just do this charger. But like I said, I don't think, Koulibaly is going to be coming out to Manchester United now, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But very, very good central defender. I think he's regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world. I think he's 27. I think he's actually, nearly 28 years of age. Now he's still under contract, with Napoli until 2023. But like I said, he has been at Napoli, 5 years. But he shows that ability to power from the back. His distribution's really, really good. He's got everything as Koulibaly. And if he did come to the Premier League, I do think, he definitely, would succeed in the Premier League and all that. I read reports a while back saying that, Napoli had basically priced him out of the transfer market. They were demanding an extortionate amount, and it said, they wanted around £150 million and all that. But at least he's going to cost you around 100, maybe 110 million. But I don't think, he's going to be coming to Manchester United. I don't see him leaving Napoli. I think he'll end up, staying with Napoli. Probably won't intend on spending the rest of his playing career with Napoli, but I think he'll stay. I think he will be with Napoli next season. Will Koulibaly. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now wants to sell Paul Pogba, as you all know. Initially, he doesn't. He said, for a long time, he hasn't wanted to sell Paul Pogba, but now there has been a change of scenery. He's informed Manchester United bosses now that he does want to sell Paul Pogba, and the main factor reason why he wants to sell Paul Pogba is obviously to help us raise funds and rebuild the squad and all that. And obviously, for us to get more players, more players in, obviously, we have got to sell Paul Pogba. Obviously, we've actually recently indicated that he's not for sale, but I think he did say, we would accept a bid, we would accept in the region of around maybe 150 or 160 million pounds for him. But we do know it has been Real Madrid and Juventus that have been battling out for his services and all that. I think for a long time his likely destination has been Real Madrid. I think his first choice preference is Real Madrid. But actually, recently, at least in the last couple of weeks, he said, Juventus are interested in re-signing him. But like I said, if Juventus do get Matty they may now obviously opt out of the race for Paul Pogba and all that. I think also Adrian Rabiot is on Juventus's agenda and all that. So Juventus have got quite a few players on their agenda, and I do believe Juventus have got a budget, like I currently said. But Juventus director did confirm that they're like that Juventus love Paul Pogba and all that, because he did have 4 good years in Turin. Did Paul Pogba? Don't forget he had 4 great years in Turin. He exceeded expectation levels. He did really, really well, but he hasn't really replicated this form since he came back to Manchester United. Let's be honest. Juventus director was in, I think, came to London, was it last week, if I can remember rightly, and he came to London to hold negotiation with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. Also, Juventus has been in negotiations with his agent Raiola and all that over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. But I do believe his first choice preference is Real Madrid. Like I said, Real Madrid are not keen on a straight cash payment. I don't think they're willing to pay up to £150 million. But like I said, with Juventus, I don't think Juventus would be able to afford Paul Pogba outright, especially. So probably Juventus would have to offload 1 or maybe 2 of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. I was reading reports yesterday saying that Juventus were willing. Juventus were willing to offer, Douglas Costa as part of the deal for Pogba. It also came out the other week saying that Juventus were willing to offer Paul Dybala as part of the deal for Paul Pogba and all that. But I don't think Juventus, would be able to afford him outright. But like I said, with Real Madrid, they've obviously got 5 players so far on the board this summer. Obviously, they've just got Eden Hazard for like £150 million and all that. So I don't think they'd be keen on spending another £150 million. But Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of Paul Pogba. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has obviously instructed his Real Madrid board, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba. But like I said, a couple of main factor reasons why he probably wants to leave Manchester United, because maybe, he wants to be in Champions League football, wants to rejuvenate his career, wants to be playing monster, better players, winning silverware and all that, and obviously, he's not experiencing this at Manchester United. Obviously, Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his contract with an option of a further year. I was reading reports earlier on this week, it did say, we was willing to hand Paul Pogba a loyalty bonus. I think he's set to be given this payment at the beginning of next month. I think it's around £4 million. He's set to get, or maybe just under £4 million. And I think we're set to, like I said, give him that at the beginning of next month. And I think it also said, we are willing to offer him a long-term contract, worth up to around £500,000 a week. And obviously, if this was, to happen and all that, he would get around the £200,000 pay rise and all that, because in his current deal, he's on about £290,000 a week. So 500 grand a week, obviously, would make him, the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez at the club and all that. But now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anywhere wants to offload him, to help us with our transition and all that. Obviously, to help rebuild the squad. He did come out about 3 weeks ago, saying that Paul Pogba, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer, Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid, to convince him to remain at the football club. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months, that Paul Pogba's agent Raiola has obviously been in the process of trying to secure his move to Real Madrid, because obviously Real Madrid has been his likely destination for quite a while. And obviously Paul Pogba was saying a while back, about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid. He classified them as one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he did say at some point in his career, he does want to play for Real Madrid. But like I said, we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, our most expensive signing. Like I said earlier on in the video, I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them established players this summer, because like I said, it's not all about spending big on players like you all know. Because we've got a history, of spending big on players, like I said, especially in recent years, and it's not all about spending big on players. But quite a few people have pinpointed out, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer and all that. But with Paul Pogba, we do know how much of an imperative player he is, and initially it was in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan, to actually build a side around Paul Pogba. We have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form, and we obviously mainly saw it in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager, and that's when we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho, and obviously Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho, of course, left the club. Obviously, Paul Pogba, has won the Europa League with us, the League Cup with us. Obviously, that came in his second season with Manchester United. So I do believe he's currently going to be going. But I think we sell Pogba and Lukaku. That's probably around at least £200 million we'll raise there. Maybe we may even get more than £200 million. maybe we may even get more than £200 million, to be quite honest with you, because I think Lukaku's set to go to Inter Milan for around maybe 60 or 70 odd million pounds or something like that. But yeah, I probably do expect around 3 or 4 players, to leave Manchester United this summer. Maybe 5 players to leave Manchester United. But like I said, I think I have expectations, going on into next season. Probably, we'll be able to win maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League, but probably more than likely, finish in the top 4. And I think that's what our expectation levels, will be going on into next season. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, will be that top 4. I don't think we'll win the league next season. I don't think we'll be even challenging for the league next season. Because like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, since obviously, Alex Ferguson retired and all that. Obviously, we haven't won the Premier League, since 2013, so that's obviously over 6 years, like I said. But the main reason why we've been underachieving in the last 5 or 6 years, because obviously, we have been mismanaged and all that, because obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We do know a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. Obviously, players have come in, and of course, players have gone and all that. But like I said, it's still in the process of rebuilding. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's history, and I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, can take us forward. I love him a lot. He's a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. I know he hasn't really got the experience of a manager, and that's something that does concern me, not to the highest level anywhere. That's definitely something that does concern. But he did well when he was interim manager in his first 3 months. He exceeded them expectation levels and all that. The results were good, the performances were good, but it just seems to have all gone wrong, since he has got the job permanently. And I hope he has got the stature, to command Manchester United in that position, where we do want to be, because obviously we just want to be back, being a competitive elite level football club, and that's why I said it's very imperative that we get the right players to Manchester United this summer. But let's be honest, like I said, regardless of who our manager is, no one is ever going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and obviously that's something we've got to accept, and obviously we're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years, a success that we did currently have and all that. But like I said, we are a toxic club at the moment, but we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We've got a fantastic fan base. We are the most successful team in England historically and all that. Obviously, 13 league titles, 20 all in all. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But I do believe other teams are going to invest this summer without a shadow of a doubt, I should presume. Probably Liverpool, and maybe try and get a player or 2 in. Manchester City, probably get a player or 2 in, even though City have spent a hell of a lot of money, just like we have, basically. Arsenal, I think it's going to be hard for them to have a competitive window, because obviously, they're competing in the Europa League next season, just like we are and all that. So I think it's going to be hard for them to have a competitive window. With Chelsea, I'm not too sure. Because obviously, they've got a transfer ban. I haven't heard much about that lately. Obviously, Chelsea can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows, because obviously, they've obviously got a transfer ban. Unless their transfer ban gets overturned, I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, like I said, anyway, it's looking very imminent that Wan-Bissaka is going to be our second signing this summer. Very, very good news. Reportedly, Manchester United have held furthermore extensive talks with Crystal Palace on Friday, and now reportedly we are close to coming to an agreement on around the £42.5 million fee. Obviously, I do presume there will be series of add-ons included, which could potentially rise the deal up to around £60 million, maybe 55, maybe £60 million and all that. But I do believe Bissaka has agreed personal terms on around the £80,000 a week contract. That's what I think he's going to be earning at Manchester United if he comes, which is looking very, very likely indeed. So yeah, it's looking very likely. It's not guaranteed it'll come, but I think it should be completed within the next 48 hours and all that. So really, really looking forward to it. Obviously, we've had quite a few right-backs on our agenda, and it did say if we don't get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka, we've looked at Norwich's Max Evans as an alternative to him. Obviously, Max Evans would be a cheaper solution than Wan-Bissaka, but I think Norwich, of course, are reluctant, to let Max Evans go. He is British, he's Max Evans. He is 19 years of age. Obviously, won the Championship with Norwich last season. I think it was on his first season in the senior squad with Norwich last season. I think he joined in Norwich's youth academy, was it back in 2016 and all that. Had a couple of years in their youth system. But But obviously, you know, I think he got into their first team last season. I think he played about 43 games in all competitions. Primarily right back, can play as a left back, but he's primarily a right back. I think he signed a new long-term contract with Norwich last October in October of last year, and I think he signed, was it a 5-year deal, so he's on the contract with Norwich until 2023. So Manchester United have also, you know, been in for him. So basically, we've seen him as an alternative, you know, to Wan-Bissaka. But Wan-Bissaka is the top priority, and it's looking like, you know, he's going to be our second signing. And then when we do complete the signing for Wan-Bissaka, then I do presume we'll step our interest up in Bruno Fernandes, and then hopefully we can get a deal over the line for him. So I do presume Bruno Fernandes should be our third signing. We have obviously, you know, notified Bruno Fernandes, you know, representatives. Obviously that we do need a bit more time. We're meaning obviously want to, you know, give us a chance to get the deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. Then we're going to come in for you. That's what we said, you know, to his agents. But yeah, early on this week we held more talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent, and now obviously, you know, he did say we are preparing to put an offer in for him and all that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon, guys. Thanks for watching.